Michigan's Most Wanted. The manhunt starts right now with Highland Park detectives Paul Thomas on the outside and Detective Brian Menge here in the center. We're profiling, without a doubt, one of Metro Detroit's worst crimes of 2015. In April, a young father, 27-year-old Jamal Hendricks, was executed in his own home in front of his children and his wife. It all happened on Moss Street in Highland Park. Detective Brian Menge is the lead detective, and Detective Paul Thomas working diligently, both detectives working on this case. Paul Thomas, describe what happened. It was around 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, Ron, this gentleman, a young father, as you just mentioned, arrived at home. He had a food purchase, fast food. As he approached his front porch and got up on it, two masked men sprang from the bushes. They forced him into the home. His family was there, his wife, his children. Eventually, they asked for money and for any items they could obtain. He was then executed. He was shot and killed in the bedroom as the children were present.
Two individuals in the house. Detective Brian Menge, break down the family. This is just horrible that they were there. You don't want anybody murdered, but in front of the family. Describe family members.
Yeah, absolutely. You had his wife that was there. There was two other children, and at the time of the incident, his actual wife was 7 months pregnant at the time. So we have a child that was born that's never met his father because of this incident. And again, having this type of crime happen in front of children, regardless, it's deplorable.
Detective Paul Thomas, is there a vehicle we could be looking for?
At this time, we have no description of a vehicle, Ron, and we are hoping that through this broadcast, we may learn of a vehicle or any pertinent information, anything that would help us solve this crime and eliminate this type of individual from the community.
Detective Menge, I understand 2 o'clock in the morning. Not likely there were a lot of witnesses outside that saw something outside the house, or could there be a witness out there that hasn't come forward?
I believe there's possibly a witness or witnesses that haven't come forward. We did our due diligence that night and did a canvass of the area that night and preceding days afterwards. I've just recently, just a few days ago, met with Mr. Hendricks' wife. I stay in contact with her and other family members because they do check in routinely about what our status is on this case or where we're at. So it's personal. It's very personal.
Let's get some tips. We have a $2,500 reward. Detective Brian Menge and Detective Paul Thomas working this case in Highland Park. Who killed Jamal Hendricks in April on Moss Street? Pick up the phone, do the right thing. Call 1-800-SPEAK-UP. Gentlemen, thank you for coming in. Keep up the hard work. Let's get some tips so they can go to work.